we were two peas in a pod, and we both joined the Marine Corps because we were like, you know what, let's get away from here. And we went in on the buddy program, and we went to MCRD San Diego and was part of Gulf Company. And from there we graduated on President's Day 2008. And then we went to School of Infantry, and from there we both got stationed with 3rd Marines out in Okinawa. On February 19th, 2010, I got news that my best friend had stepped on an IED and was not coming home. I ended up having to go to Brazil, Indiana, and escort his casket. And that was probably the worst day of my life. I went to Okinawa, and me and my best friend went out there, and when he went to Afghanistan, I was coming back off of what we call a MEU. Coming back from Australia, I call it a boat cruise. It was fun. That was my first taste of realizing what's about to happen in people's lives. My name's Nick Saunders. As far as back as I can remember, my grandpa served in World War II. My dad served in Vietnam. My sister did Desert Storm, Desert Shield, and I've obviously done Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom. I've witnessed a couple people commit suicide. The first one that I saw was 2008, when my whole world literally fell upside down. I was sitting outside at the barracks having a smoke break with my buddies, and this kid was up on 3rd deck, and he looks out and he goes, "I'm gonna do it." And we all just looked up like, okay, yeah, whatever. And when he jumped out the window, he hung himself. And from that day on, my life was just like, wow, I stopped caring. With witnessing suicides, I see shadows. They come up, they've talked to me, they've touched me, they've blamed me. I relive those every night in my dreams, watching people, don't even know them, just commit suicide. When I see them, I don't know what they want, and it freaks me out. There's a couple of times that I've sat in the corner and cried, just wanting them to go away. There's been nights where I would just be laying on the couch or in bed with somebody, and I'd see a shadow, and I'd reach over, punch them in the chest. There's been times where I've woke up and I've had my AR-15 pointed at them because I thought they were a shadow. I'd been going to the VA for 3 years on and off whenever I had appointments, and they'd classified me PTSD. Out of the raw score, you can get a total of 85. I scored a 78. I didn't get therapy or any kind of medication until this past year. Thought I could deal with it myself, but due to a couple events, I had to go into the VA, and I decided to finally get help after 4 years. I was coming back from Wilmington, and don't know what happened, but I walked into the VA with a loaded weapon. I looked at them and said, either you get me help or I'll shoot myself. They asked me, do you live alone? Do you have anybody? I'm like, I live alone. My parents live in California now. Like, why don't you get a service dog? I was like, I don't qualify. I don't have the money for it. They're like, but for service members, it's free. So from there, I had to fill out the paperwork, and the doctor who was training service dogs, Dr. Terry Morris, she evaluated it, looked at it, and said, we got a perfect fit for you.
He and I talked, and I also felt like it would be great to try to partner him. And I actually felt like after we talked, I had the perfect partner for him, and that turned out to be wonderful.
I got Winston from Vets to Vets United Incorporated up in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Vets to Vets is a nonprofit whose mission is to rescue, train, and partner animals with veterans who are suffering from loneliness, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, traumatic brain injury, and physical disabilities. I started Vets to Vets because I saw that there was a need here in North Carolina, and with the need so great, I decided to begin this organization. I would really like to spend the rest of my life doing something that I was really passionate about. And of course, animals, since I'm a veterinarian, I love animals. North Carolina has the highest kill rate or euthanasia rate of animals in the whole country. So if I could do something to help with that problem, that would be great. My other passion is helping people. I love helping people and just seeing them smile. First of all, the emotional healing that takes place when they're immediately placed with an animal is a huge part of the healing or success that takes place. So even if the dog is not trained yet, just having that animal in your life and having that unconditional love coming to you immediately makes a huge difference in the emotional well-being of the veteran.
At first, I didn't know how it was going to be. I was kind of skeptical until about Thanksgiving when I had Winston, and holidays are the hardest time for me, and it actually worked. When I get anxious, he'll jump on my lap and bring me back to reality. When I have nightmares a couple times a night, he'll push me in the back and wake me up and make sure that I'm okay. Just when I'm having a bad day and stuff really gets to me and I get really down, he'll just make sure that I'm put first, and he'll make sure that I'm smiling and happy at the end. When I got out of the Marine Corps, I was going through a bad divorce. I honestly didn't care. It was one of those, like, my days were just wake up, do what I had to do, and go to bed. And now it's, when I wake up, I gotta take care of Winston. I'm happy. I actually want to go to work. I started going back to school to be a lawyer, and I'm actually doing really good in school. I'm about to graduate with a bachelor's degree, and then I'm going for 2 associates. I've been hired to a law firm as an intern since I've had my dog. So I've noticed my life has changed because I see where I have to go, and it's not a clouded judgment anymore.
Nick and Winston have an amazing relationship. They really do. It was instant bonding when they first were introduced to each other, and I could see how important it was for Nick to have Winston in his life, and also his determination. Though he has to drive 2.5 hours away, he was determined that he was going to come to class twice a week to learn how to train Winston, and he's reinforced that training at home, and you can see that from the progress that he's made.
The thing about service dogs is people think they're fully trained. That's not the case. It's what you train them is what they do for you. So if you put in minimal work, then you're not going to get any work out of the dog. And at the same time, you got to care for them as you would any other dog. But you also got to look at them that they help you. So what they go through is what you go through. And in the end, they are there to help you, and you are to help them. No matter what I do, no matter what I say, he's always there. It could be a bad day, and I could be like, you know, Winston, go sit on one side of the couch. He'll go sit, but he'll always come back and make sure I'm okay, and that's probably the best thing right there.
It's priceless to see a veteran walk in despair and not smiling, not feeling like, you know, this program just may not work, just very skeptical, and then come back, you know, a month later, and the veteran is in class joking, laughing, having a great time for those 2 hours that they're in training with the dog. Nick is smiling, number one. He sends me text messages and emails and pictures of he and Winston all the time. It's just priceless, and it's really a blessing to have this opportunity, to have an opportunity like this, to help people and to save animals is 2 passions in one, 2 blessings really. And I'm just so thankful that I have this opportunity.
Honestly, with Vets to Vets, if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't be here today. Since getting out of the Marine Corps and going through all I've did, I've been at the worst point in life. And people that say, oh, you don't know what life is like. That's true, I don't know what your life is like, but you don't know what mine is. But we can both agree that in the end we do need help. And if you need help and you can get a service dog, do it, because it saved mine and it can save somebody else's.